Steroids, TRT, testosterone boosters, most men think that they're the exact same thing when there's a lot of differences. And confusing them is exactly how you could be avoiding something that could help you or wasting money on something that won't. Here are the 7 things that every man should know. So the first thing you need to know is what the differences are between the 3. Anabolic steroids are what you think about with pro athletes and bodybuilders and things that get people suspended from sports. These are supraphysiological doses of either testosterone or androgens. We're talking about doses that are 5 to 10 times what your normal production levels are. And the goal is to push the body's limit to muscle production. Now, TRT is a medical intervention with the goal of restoring levels back to what would be a normal range. And it's typically used for men who are not producing the normal amount of testosterone. The biggest difference here between TRT and anabolic steroids is like the difference between drinking water because you're dehydrated or drowning yourself. And as far as over-the-counter testosterone boosters, we've reviewed a ton of these products on our channel. I have experimented with a ton of these products, and honestly, they're really a waste of money. And the reason is a lot of them don't have legitimate research behind the stuff that's in them. So what you end up doing is trusting in a company's story and marketing in hopes that the science can back it up. Now, the second thing to know is a lot of the research about whether it's safe to take testosterone or anabolic steroids is really dated. So the origin story behind the testosterone fear came in 2010. There was a study that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine that basically said testosterone causes cardiovascular issues. Medical doctors freaked out, the FDA slapped a warning label on all of the products, and for the next 15 years, men asking their doctors about testosterone were mostly told, no, it's dangerous. But here's what they don't tell you about this study. The average age of the participants was 74 years old. These were frail, mobility-limited old men that already had a baseline for cardiovascular issues. And the dose they were given wasn't titrated to a physiological dose. It was way higher. And the study only had a little over 200 people. Then in 2014, another study came out from insurance records showing an increased risk of heart attack in the 90 days after starting TRT. What they conveniently left out was that the study compared the 90 days after starting TRT to the 12 months before starting TRT. The third thing that you should know is that low testosterone is not just about low energy or low libido. It's actually a sign of mortality. This is one that most men don't know, and it completely reframes the conversation. When you hear about testosterone, the conversation is usually about symptoms. Low energy, low libido, trouble building muscle, brain fog. Those are real, but the research goes much deeper than that. A meta-analysis, which is a study of studies, looked at data from over 40,000 men. Men with low testosterone levels had a significantly higher rate of all-cause mortality and specifically cardiovascular mortality, even after adjusting for age, obesity, and lifestyle. What that tells us is that low testosterone isn't just a quality of life issue. It may be a marker of serious health risks. Now, this is important. That doesn't mean that TRT is proven to extend your life. The randomized controlled trial data doesn't show that yet, but the risk isn't just treating low testosterone. There may be a real risk in leaving it untreated, and it's definitely worth having a conversation with your doctor. Number 4 is that in 2025, the FDA literally removed the warning labels that they put on boxes way back in 2010. This is the one that nobody is talking about. In February of 2025, the FDA issued class-wide labeling changes for all testosterone products. They removed the black box warning related to the increased risk of cardiovascular events. Because the Traverse trial, it was the largest testosterone safety study ever conducted. 5,000 plus men over 33 months. It was randomized, double-blind, controlled, all of the gold standard things you want to see in research, specifically using a high-risk population, men who already had cardiovascular disease or were at a high risk of developing it. The results were that 7% of men in the testosterone group had an adverse reaction, compared to 7.3% in the placebo group, meaning that there was no significant difference. So the FDA, which is the most conservative regulatory body in medicine, looked at the study and said, we got things wrong. And number 5 is that there are real risks, and here's what you actually need to monitor. Now, I'm not going to tell you that testosterone is risk-free. That would be completely dishonest, and anyone selling you that is blowing smoke up your ass. The same study that cleared testosterone on cardiovascular events also showed real secondary signals that you should know about. Testosterone can thicken your blood, and that can lead to a higher risk of blood clots. Additionally, there's an increased risk of non-fatal heart arrhythmias, one in particular known as AFib. What this feels like is a fast and fluttering type heartbeat. And lastly, there is an increased risk of elevated blood pressure. But here's the beautiful thing, all three of these things are manageable. And they're manageable by simple steps that you're likely going to take if you get onto testosterone or TRT. Things like lab work, things like regular checkups, and if you're concerned about your blood pressure, a blood pressure cuff that you can use at home is really cheap and easy to buy. Number 6 is the lab testing that you should be getting and what normal actually looks like. Now, if you've gone to your doctor's office and you've been told that your testosterone is normal and walked away feeling dismissed, this one's for you. Most primary care physicians only check total testosterone, which is not enough. The first thing that should be tested is your total testosterone. Also, we should be looking at your free testosterone. This is the fraction of the testosterone that you can actually use. You can have a decent total testosterone and terrible free testosterone. And this is often where the real story is. Another important thing to monitor is the sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG. This is a protein that binds to testosterone and makes it unavailable. A high level of SHBG means less free testosterone, even if your total testosterone looks fine. LH and FSH are also important to be tested. That's luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. What these tests tell you are whether your testicles are not producing enough or if they're not getting the right signal to produce more. That distinction is really important because it helps to decide what direction your treatment may go. Hematocrit is another really important thing to be tested as a baseline before you get started. And the reason for that is it will tell you whether your blood is getting too thick and if you need to donate blood. Without a doubt, having a PSA done is very important. That's prostate-specific antigen. Even though recent research debunked the idea that testosterone causes an increased risk of prostate issues, most men that are of age to be on testosterone or TRT are also of age where they should be getting their prostate checked regularly. Luckily for us, the digital rectal exam has fallen out of popularity, and that's because the blood work is so good now that following your PSA can oftentimes give you all the information that you need. And believe it or not, estrogen and estradiol are other things that you need to monitor when you're on testosterone or TRT. And the reason is having too low of estrogen or estradiol actually can be problematic. And as far as a normal range goes, the reference range for testosterone is based on men between 19 and 99 years old. A 45-year-old man's testosterone is not going to be the same as an 80-year-old man's testosterone. But unfortunately, a 45-year-old with the testosterone level of an 80-year-old is technically normal, but it's not optimal. Keep in mind, there is a range of normal for testosterone. When I started TRT, my testosterone levels were in the normal range, but they were on the low side of normal. So when I talked to my doctor about some of the issues that I was facing, he said, well, why don't we get on the other side of normal? So if your doctor won't run a full panel and won't have a discussion with you about how your symptoms line up with your lab work, it's time to find a new doctor. And that brings us to our number 7 thing to know, and that is what to look out for if you go to a low testosterone clinic. The low T clinic industry has boomed in the last couple of decades. Some of these are solid places that can give you legitimate care and legitimate blood work. But unfortunately, a lot of them have a business model that should have you running for the hills. Some red flag things to look out for if you go to a low testosterone clinic. First is if they try to get you onto testosterone without doing a full panel, that is not medicine, that is sales. Additionally, if they put every single guy on the same treatment, that is not medicine. This needs to be specifically titrated to what you need. And the way that you know that you're on the right dose is you have a full panel of blood work before and you have a follow-up blood panel after. So if you don't have a monitoring schedule, i.e. you got blood work, you got on testosterone, and had follow-up blood work, this is exactly how problems can start. And lastly, if you feel like you're facing a high pressure upsell, like you went in to ask about testosterone, but suddenly you need HCG and you need an aromatase inhibitor and a peptide stack and a $500 a month program before you've even had a second set of labs, this is not the place for you. A solid hormone provider looks at comprehensive labs before they do any prescription. They focus on dosing that gets adjusted based on what your blood work shows and how you feel, and they have follow-ups every 3 to 6 months minimum. And they have an honest conversation with you about what your goals are, what the risks are, not just the benefits. Remember that the goal of TRT when it's prescribed is to get you optimal, not to get you on a subscription model that you can never get off of. If something feels off when you're in a clinic, get a second opinion. This is your health we're talking about. Hopefully this clarified a bit about steroids, testosterone, and TRT. Before you go, check out our videos on products that claim to help testosterone, and consider subscribing to the channel if you want more content like this. Real answers with actual science and no bullshit. I'll see you in the next one.